What is going on, YouTube? So coming back today with my official college football playoff predictions for the 2016 season. So I haven't done playoff predictions, I believe, in a couple months. I believe the last ones I did were post-spring. So also today I've done my official top 25 rankings for the season and then my dark horse contenders. So this video will wrap up my 2016 little college football mini preview I've done today. Links to both those videos will be in the description below though as well. So let's start with the four outside. So I'm going to be covering this like I normally cover my college football playoff predictions. Again, I'll be doing mine every single week. So if your team's not in this week, they might be in it next week. So let's go ahead and start with the first of my four outside. And that's going to start with the Ohio State Buckeyes. So I do think they're going to be on the outside looking in. It's a hard schedule for Ohio State this year. They got to get past OU at home, or at home for OU. So that's going to be a tough game to start. And then you got the whole factor of getting past Michigan State and Michigan. And I think with all the inexperience on the team, there are a lot of question marks heading into the season. I think that they'll be close, but just not quite there. Next, I got Ole Miss. Ole Miss has been a team that hasn't been talked about too much this offseason besides some of the losses that they experienced. I do think Chad Kelly's going to be a stud this year. I really don't think that Ole Miss is going to have too much of a problem replacing what they lost, at least on the defense. But again, I think they might be a little bit underrated, but I don't think they're going to be able to overtake Alabama for the top spot in the West. I just don't think it's going to happen. Third, I've got Florida State. So Florida State, I think, might be as close as anyone to being able to knock off the top team in their conference. Again, I think it's going to be a little bit of a heartbreak for them this year. I think they're going to be 1 year away from being able to reach back to that point that they were at 2 years ago with Jameis Winston, if they are able to find a quarterback in either Malik Henry or DeAndre Francois. But this year, I think it still is Clemson at the top. Florida State, I think, will be left looking just on the outside. So fourth, I've got the Stanford Cardinals. So I think they will win the Pac-12 once again, but I think it's going to be a very similar finish to them for them compared to last season. I don't think they're going to get through their schedule undefeated, which is probably a maximum one loss for them to be able to make the playoff this year. I think them and Notre Dame are very, very close as well. Notre Dame, a team that will have an extremely tough schedule, but I think they'll contend just as heavily as Stanford. So let's go ahead and get into the official college football playoff predictions. So let's start with first team, and I've got the Michigan Wolverines. So I do actually think right now that they will get in. It's just so much talent on both sides of the ball. A lot is relying on the quarterback spot. There are question marks still there, but I think there's enough help at pretty much every single other position to be able to make Michigan get into the playoff. There's no doubt that them as a 3-loss team last year, there's no doubt that some people have a valid argument when they say Michigan's not ready. That they shouldn't have the title of taking over top spot in that conference yet. I mean, that's a valid argument, but also in my mind, you look at the returning talent, you look at pretty much the swagger they're carrying with them this year and the confidence to do it, and I think it's there. And I think this is a team that can come off like maybe a 1-loss regular season and be able to squeak in the college football playoff. So at number 3, you got the Alabama Crimson Tide. Again, I think they're going to have one loss getting through the regular season. I just think having a freshman quarterback in Blake Barnett, and with a lot of change along the defense, granted, I still think they'll be a very good defense, and with the new defensive coordinator, I think there's going to be a lot of change up and down this Alabama team that could cause them to lose. Who knows, maybe to Ole Miss again, maybe to Auburn, maybe to Tennessee, hell, maybe to USC, we'll see. But again, still a tough schedule, even though considering they're coming off another national championship. But like I said, it's a team that really does still have a little bit of work to do to be able to maintain their top spot, and it's not easy to repeat, even though it seems like it is easy for Alabama. Number 2, I got the Oklahoma Sooners. Now I'm going to give you one drawback and then one reason why I think the Sooners will win. I think this is a new era for the Oklahoma Sooners. You can trace this back to 2014, the first year of the college football playoff, when OU was, I believe, number 4 preseason, and everyone was expecting big things out of them with Trevor Knight after they'd beaten Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. And they finished the year 8-5. Same thing could happen this year, but I think Baker Mayfield's a more proven quarterback than Trevor Knight. I think that they got more returning talent than that other team had, and I think the defense will be stout enough to the point where OU will be just fine. Yes, there's other contenders in the Big 12, but I think OU is kind of the overwhelming favorite right now, and even though they do have to play Ohio State and Houston, I think they've got enough leadership experience and just overall confidence in themselves to be able to make it as far as they will need to make it into the college football playoff this year. I think as long as they have one loss or no losses throughout the regular season and they are the Big 12 title or Big 12 champions, then I think they definitely will be in the playoff again. And then number one, I think it's obvious at this point, I have the Clemson Tigers. So again, they have heavy losses on defense. I mentioned this yesterday. I still think that having Carlos Watkins and Cordrea Tankersley would be enough to at least maintain a steady defense for 2016, while the offense can be one of the best in the country. Again, I mentioned that again, over and over again, that this might be the most talented offense in the country of any team this year. Between probably the best quarterback you can find in college football with Deshaun Watson under center, as long as he can stay healthy, with Wayne Gallman, in my opinion, one of the top 10 running backs in the country in the backfield, and then with maybe one of the best receiving corps in the country between Deion Kane, Artavis Scott, and Mike Williams, and not to mention Jordan Leggett at tight end. This is a team that is ready to go in 2016, and I think they're ready to make some noise. And they were 5 points away from a national championship last year. Actually, I guess 6 technically. Sorry about those noises, but I think they are the title favorites right now. Again, in my number one team in my rankings is Alabama, because they're the reigning national champions. They still have a lot of talent. They are the deserving number one team, but I do think Clemson is the title favorites right now, even if they might not be the most talented team heading into the season. So that'll pretty much do it for my 2016 college football playoff predictions. I guess technically 2016, 2017. And with college football, 4 days away now, the Hawaii game kicking off, I believe it's this Thursday, the 26th. I gotta see if that's Thursday or Friday. It's Friday the 26th at 9 p.m. So that should be an interesting game to watch. But anyway, that's pretty much it. See ya.